And we have learned so much, and we wouldn't have learned so much if it wasn't for each and every single one of you in this room. So I just want to say thank you to all of you, because the thousands of samples we've now seen come through our lab wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you all. So thank you very much.
You know, I've judged cannabis competitions around the country and around the world for over 20 years, and I've never had an opportunity to compete because I was always the judge. This is the first time I've ever won. So thank you, Chip Travis. Thank you, Psychedelic Cup of Denver for making this possible. Thank all of you. Oh my God, we're making history here together. This is so cool. Thank you guys so freaking much. Thank you.
This year, we're introducing the pass-fail aspect of it because that's something the natural medicine came out with. We learned what is an acceptable range. I think 15% is great. 10% is even better. 5% is really cool. If you're under 1%, you're the best.
Content presented in Cheshire Corners is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult a legal professional if you have any questions or concerns about the content of this disclaimer, this series, or the legal implications surrounding psychedelic substances in your jurisdiction.
Welcome to Cheshire Corners. I'm the AI clone of Rita Salyuk, your host as we trip through the looking glass. Tonight at the Psychedelic Cup 2025, the veil parts once more. Part 1 of the awards ceremony unfolds from over 270 submissions, each one passed beneath the careful gaze of lab instruments and statistical scrutiny. Numbers whisper their verdicts. Variance yields to precision, and from the margins of measurement, distinction emerges. This is not spectacle alone. It is documentation, a record of where craft, chemistry, and community intersect in 2025. For those who wish to examine the figures more closely, the full presentation slides are available at the Psychedelic Club of Denver website. The data has spoken. The honors await. Step forward. Let the ceremony begin.
So welcome. We had the overwhelming turnout we talked about earlier. And basically what we want to start with here, is going to be, just a little recap about what happened this year. We had over 270 samples, 84 participants. It was like 3 more people than last year. But a lot of new people. People are growing new, cool stuff that we've never seen before. So that's huge. People have already started submitting in 2026 cups, so that's super cool. That one's already, 20 samples deep.
Hey, thank you, everyone. So many familiar faces in here. All of you, I just want to say thank you. We've been testing now. Chris and I, we started this business, what was this, 2020-ish, right around COVID timeframe. And we have learned so much, and we wouldn't have learned so much if it wasn't for each and every single one of you in this room. So I just want to say thank you to all of you, because the thousands of samples we've now seen come through our lab wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you all. So thank you very much. Yeah, no, give yourselves a, come on. And of course, thank you to the Psychedelic Club of Denver for the support over the last few years. Just thank you to the community as a whole. A lot of winners this year, as we did last year, but they're winners in their own unique ways. We come from cannabis testing, and in cannabis testing, it was always this chase we noticed for the highest THC, the highest CBD. And it was this isolated, just focus on 2 compounds. It was 1 for a long time, thankfully 2, but that seemed to be even too little for us. We wanted to go after what was the complete, as Ian likes to say, ensemble. What is all of the compounds in an organism that we're consuming from nature that plays into the effect that we all love and feel, and those of us that are just try one mushroom variety and then have another one another week later that's just a totally different experience. We wanted to put chemistry to that because we knew that there was more than just a single number, which is just psilocybin. We're going to present psilocybin winners tonight. For sure, those that are the highest, those that are the lowest, which I'm a low guy, so you know what? No shame there on that. The side of other compounds being norbaeocystin, norpsilocin, baeocystin, aruginacin, just to name some of the other compounds we looked at that some mushrooms have more in than others. And those are unique genetics out there. We need to preserve the unique genetics. So for those of you that are making unique genetics out there, who know who you are, keep doing it, because it is the landraces that are currently around. They may not be the original ones that were around, 100 years ago when ancestors were consuming these, but they are currently a preservation in our current genetic pool. And you have something special and unique, hang on to it, preserve it in some way, because as a society, we tend to chase highest in certain things. Cannabis being a great example, where we've moved to compounds that are just, we're looking for one thing, it has to smell the same, do the same thing. And the original kind of preservation, then the magic, as Chris likes to say, in the medicine is lost in some ways. So for those of you with unique stuff, we're here to showcase you tonight, as well as I want to encourage you, keep a preserve of that because you have something special. We're going big. Cactus here. Third to first. Number 3, grower ID 10625. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the name of that, but I think you know who you are. Come on up for your medal if you're here. Number 2, just to keep this moving along because we do have a lot of categories tonight. Number 2, the pea plant. Cacti. Cacti category was based off of mescaline, but as thankfully Max talked to us tonight about, it's not all just mescaline in there. There is a lot of other phenethylamine alkaloids that are present. And so, number 1 is same winner. He may know a thing or two about cacti. I'll let you say something.
I get to say something?
You get to say something.
I've judged cannabis competitions around the country and around the world for over 20 years, and I've never had an opportunity to compete because I was always the judge. This is the first time I've ever won. Thank you, Triptropics. Thank you, Psychedelic Cup of Denver for making this possible. Thank all of you. Oh my God, we're making history here together. This is so cool. Thank you guys so freaking much. Thank you.
Thank you, Max. All right, next category we move to, which is of fungi. We're gonna switch. No, this is still cacti? Goodness. It's gonna be a long night, guys. There's caffeine back there. All right, 3rd place, different grower. 2nd place, wow. And 1st place. That is hard for me even to see.
That it's like there's, I believe, a whole plant spirit or a cacti spirit or a fungi spirit to these things. So when we look at our biomass champions, I don't know if the guy is here, but I'll just show all the things because it's got. And so when we look at the 3 different winners here, yeah, is number 33221 here? I don't believe so. Very cool dude. Hopefully we can get him at the club talk soon because we want all the winners to come back and talk about what did they do. Seemingly obvious that each one of these is different. Seemingly like, yeah, there is some differences there.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So they can grab one more and then we'll kind of hop into this mushroom competition here, I believe, or the edible competition. So yeah, this was a cool one this year. We had 44 samples. I almost want to say it was 48 by the time I finally took out all the data and did the thing. I don't think I updated this. Ranged from a 1/4 milligram per package up to 50 milligrams per package. Average range of just things on a shelf is like, well, it's got a 1/4 of one or 50 of those, like same package. This year, we're introducing the pass-fail aspect of it because that's something the natural medicine came out with. We learned what is an acceptable range. I think 15% is great. 10% is even better. 5% is really cool. If you're under 1%, you're the best. Like, something to brag about. 6 out of 44 would have failed over that 15% variance. And 7 samples had less than 1% variance. When you think like 1% variance is, I make a 1 milligram product, the most variance is 1.01 or 0.99. That's the variance of that dosing. And it's like, yeah, that's consistent. You want to take this one over and start announcing? Because I know you have some cool things to say about edibles.
Edibles are one of the most, so I'm on the chemistry side. I get to see these kind of as they are passing through the instrumentation. And I cringe just about every single time an edible goes through our instrument because the columns that we run edibles on, the HPLC columns, if any of you are aware of what chemistry costs, it's not cheap. And what beats up a column more than anything is the different types of edibles out there. We make it our hardest ability to try and determine the amount of psilocybin, all the minors in chocolates, in a gummy, in a lotion I've seen recently. So it is such a varied amount of they call them matrices that we have to look into. When we talk about kind of pass-fail here, it's again based on relative standard deviation. That's what state regulations here in Colorado are going to be based on. Is it less than a tolerance level of between dose variance? And what they're looking for is less than 15%, which is really, it's lower than cannabis, or I think maybe equivalent to some cannabis. And in other states, it's significantly lower than cannabis regulations. So what that means is there needs to be no difference than 15% between one dose to the next dose right next to it. Less than 15% variance, 15% RSD is what we're looking for. Again, everything's based on grower ID here. So if you don't know where your grower ID is, I just want to remind you, it is the batch ID of on your COA. So that's where you're kind of looking to say, like, did I actually win? Look at your batch ID. All right. Most homogeneous chocolate tablet.
It's edible in general.
Gummy. What other crazy thing did we see this year?
Honey sticks.
Drinks. Honey sticks. Thank you for the honey sticks. Goodness gracious, that was a pain. I say that in the nice way. All right. Grower, who I don't believe is here, but he had an electrolyte drink mix that was, maybe it was here. An amazing drink mix that was very consistent. They were drink pouches, very consistent from one to another. So third place winner there with the RSD, or the relative standard deviation. Again, you're not familiar with statistics, it's your standard deviation. It basically is important for, it is essentially the standard deviation divided by the average multiplied by 100, right? Am I mathing? Is Caleb trying to math right now? Yeah. Second place, RSD of less than 0.5% is grower 32348 here. I don't believe so, but congratulations. Again, 15% is the regulation. So hitting under 0.5%, that's incredibly homogeneous between dosages. First place, this mishmash of strains added into a chocolate bar came out at 0.3% relative standard deviation, which for a chocolate, wow. Anyone who's ever poured chocolate has got to know that that's going to be hard to do. So congrats to all those growers slash makers. And yeah, did we get anyone coming up for that? Anyone here in town? Those that submitted out of town for the edible side of things, you know who you are in this room. Thank you very much for submitting. Thank you for making the trip here tonight. Thank you. We really appreciate that. All right. Moving on to the big one. Ian, you want to take a stab at this? All right. We're getting into the actual mushroom side of things.
From the looks of things right now, what we have it set up on the big screen is we're showing 175 fruit samples. That's including all of the exotics that we would have, as well as anything that would typically be called a cubensis.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please like and subscribe to Cheshire Corners. Tell me what you think in the comments. And as always, don't get psyched out.